in the 70s, Peter Ortifer, George's younger brother, was standing on the banks of this dry, stony, rocky gully, and he said, I think we might put a cover over this and make it into a fern gully. And everyone said, oh, in your dreams, Peter, you know, yeah, ha, ha. And he did. We got sponsorship, and we put a canopy over the top of the gully, the top end of the gully, and created a totally different environment with misters, no frost, no sun, no wind, and then and water. And it was just so stupendously successful, everyone loved it, that about 8-10 years later we enlarged it. We now have half a hectare, an old acre of area under a canopy cover. And people love it. You go into it in summer and it's cool and it's green and you have this play of light and shade. And you have palms and ferns and lovely, lovely tropical rain and semi-tropical flora. The fern gully is like a remnant pocket of rainforest where people here can come and see what Australia looked like 60 million years ago. I think we have something like 158 bird species at the Arboretum, some of whom are visiting, but we certainly have a lot of honey eaters because so many insect and animal species only rely on a very small selection of the of plants, and they are really attuned to living with that species or with a number of species. And if you lose that, they go as well. So it's a double whammy. So we have a lot of rare and endangered species. I think we might have about 60 or 70 different species. If we can interest people in growing them in their gardens, like the way they handle the Wallamai pine, then we can keep these species going forever. We just have to become much closer to our plants, because the interesting thing is there are so few common names to Australian plants. It's sad. We don't know them, so we don't talk about them. But just go out and look, and don't just look for flowers. Look at the bark, look at the bud, look at the fruits. Look at the shapes of the leaves. They're beautiful all the year round. Don't just think this is grey-green and it's boring. Get out and learn about them. This is the birdspeak hakea, and it's called this because of the woody fruit, which looks just like a bird's head with a long, slim beak. So this is a Calithamnus, and I am mad about names. I just think they're fabulous, the scientific ones. And it's from the Greek, calo, beautiful, calligraphy, and thamnus, shrub. Calithamnus, beautiful shrub. Eucalyptus, well covered, and it refers to the cap, the fact that the little bud has a firm cap on it. Well, calyptra covered. So the names make sense.
And do you have favourites here that are really special to you? What are your favourites?
Mallees. The West Australian mallees are just so beautiful. Funny little scraggly trees, and you know, a mallee has a lot of stems, no main trunk. It's usually only 3 or 4 metres high, but the flowers are beautiful, enormous. The buds are varnished and lovely, and it's the fruit that's varnished and lovely, and the buds are all covered with a beautiful grey silver bloom. You know, they're lovely, and the bark is fabulous too. So if anyone comes to the Arboretum, they've got to see the mallees. Now this is Pachyphylla, the red-budded mallee, and you can see the red of the buds. Pachyphylla actually means thick leaves. Pachy, Greek, pachydermis, thick-skinned animals. And mallee is not a species, it is more the growth habit of a plant. And mallees usually have several stems. They don't have a main trunk. They have several stems which grow out of a lignotuber, which is a kind of woody lump, possibly just above or below ground level. And if you want to prune a mallee, you just take a chainsaw to it and you cut it off there. And she grows with about another 10 stems. It's an adaptation to fire particularly. But this is Eucalyptus cruziana, the bookleaf mallee, And I don't know if you can home in on this, but the leaves are so beautifully symmetrically arranged around the stem. They're just lovely.